Hello, and welcome to Victory Chat with Jackie McKeever. I'm your host, Jackie McKeever. And on this podcast, we talk about things that'll help you take your life in business, right? So, the purpose of it is to have victory conversations that will empower you to get productive, to get trained, and get paid to make your dream life your real life. So for season 2, we're doing a series called Behind the Author's Pen. And during this series, we have guest hosts, right? Today we have Odetta Fraser. She is an author of 3 books. We're gonna get all up in her business, right? Put her in a hot seat. She's written 3 books. One of them is called Olympic Sun. The another one is called Lover's Lane, and the last one is Ode to America. How are you doing, Odetta?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
Are you ready to get in a hot seat and let us get all up in your business?
I sure am. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So the first question is, why did you decide to start writing books?
I think I was born to be a writer, to be honest with you. Because as long as I can remember, I've always loved reading. And I read my entire youth, to be honest with you. And I knew just at some point that I would pick up the pen. I didn't expect it to be this point in my life. I thought I was gonna wait until I was much older, but no, it came a lot sooner than I thought.
So you can pick which book, but how
Okay.
long did it take for you, or normally takes for you, to write a book? Like the first book compared to the last book you've written?
Each of my books are very different, but I do have a writing process that's very fluid. And so it tends to be kind of quick. Like I'll really have ideas that will be on with me for a long time. So I'll be thinking about something for eons, it seems like. And then eventually when I'm at the place of writing, I'll just pour it all out. So it'll just come out really quickly. Like my first book is poetry, and it's about an hour and a half long, and so that one I wrote that within about 3 weeks, I think, or something like that. And my second book is a children's book. It's a Olympic Sun. It's much shorter, so it's a children's picture book. So that one was quite short as well. And the final book was my first full-length novel, and that one is a romance novel, and it was upwards of 50,000 words. So that one took a little bit longer, but it was relatively short. I think I finished that I think the meat and the potatoes was done in about a month, actually.
Wow, that was fast. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Were there any delays in producing your books?
When I think about it, it really was all up to me. Like when I wrote my first book, I wrote it and I kind of just set it down after that. I wrote it in 2015 and I finally didn't publish it until 2019. So there really weren't any delays, but it was just a matter of just discovering the publishing process. My first publishing go around was with Vanity Publishing. So I had to learn everything through them and through my interactions with them. And then my second go around was self-publishing, and that was a different process. So it was just a matter of
the learning
the ins and
curve.
outs of the business, right?
Cool. So this question, let's talk about this romance novel, because I want to get up into that. Who was this written for?
That's a great question. I wrote it for a couple of people, for African American women especially, and also people who love romance novels. And I think where you never get to see the end or the good parts, I think, in romance novels. Like once the relationship starts is when the novel ends. So I wanted to write a novel that told the story of afterwards, of them building a life together and just what that would look like. And I also wanted it to be about Black love,
Mm.
and just Black love being that thing that will save the world, as you know, as I sometimes hear. So I just wanted to really, extend it to those corners.
So our next question is, will there be any more books in the romance or children's or the poetry genre for you?
Absolutely. I'm actually trying not to pull my hair out with the amount of things that I have my hands in right now.
Cool.
Um, I don't want to say what's, coming next. We'll just see what gets finished.
Mhm.
But I definitely want to continue writing, because writing is my passion, is my hobby, and it's very important to me.
Will you continue in multiple genres or will you try to home into one?
I definitely think I like dabbling. I love the
That's
idea
cool.
of, doing different things.
That's awesome because many authors do that. So what do you want readers to get when they read one of your books?
Oh, it's always about knowledge and inspiration. I really want people to be able to learn, have things to think about, have things to remember, to reflect on, to speak on, to share with others. Because that's really the point. I'm not wasting your time.
I know that's right, girl. So this one is about you personally. What
Okay.
books or authors inspire you?
So I've always been inspired by Maya Angelou, as well as Toni Morrison. And I think probably Toni Morrison more than Maya Angelou, because I discovered Toni Morrison when I was younger, Maya Angelou when I was in my 20s. But I read, I think, a good number of Toni Morrison's books in my teen years. And I just thought she was just an absolutely powerful writer. I think she was probably the one that made me believe and want to write.
Cool. So what about that book? This is a spontaneous. What about her books that inspire you?
Um, Toni Morrison. So the Song of Solomon. So I can't remember everything, but I just remember being struck by the story and Sula, and I think it was just the ability to escape and go places, and also feel like you're hearing something that pertains to you, and make you feel that it matters to your life. It's what you deal with every day, so it's your own story. And as a young girl in your teenage years, it was so important to have people like that to look up to.
So true. Um, what advice would you give others starting to write books?
Write, just write. That's the most important thing, and don't throw it away. Or destroy, because we all have our processes as writers, and sometimes it's a difficult process. But I've learned that, it really just gets better as you keep going, as you keep on going. So that's really the key, is just to keep on doing it.
Okay, so we have one more questions. Can you give our listeners or on our YouTubers, those that's
Yes.
watching, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Anyway, and you can find the YouTube channel at bit.ly/Jackie's JACKIES YouTube. Oh, could you give them a quick sample of one of your books and then let them know where to find your books?
Okay, sure. So if you want to keep in touch with me, my website is www.dbosap.com. There you can find all of my work, because I'm also a graphic designer,
Cool.
and as well as my books. So you can, stay in touch with me there. So thank you for asking. And I've been thinking about, well, what am I going to read for you today? Because kind of hard to sort of choose, but I think I'm going to choose a part from my poetry book, Ode to America. And this is an excerpt from the second chapter. And I'll begin. It says, when will you grow up and become frogs and toads? You are a mother lode of too much teeth exposed with a steady hope of things gone awry. Sigh. You stand there, head to the sky, pretending you don't see me walking by. Afraid just to say hi. Hello, how are you, sheep of the fold? Ready to prove that you are more divine and more bold? The quintessential line by which the sky was first aligned? Oh, you miserable, cruel fool, when will you realize that you are the line by which the sky was aligned and the tool by which the offspring spring into pools of lions and broods of defiance? Silent, ready to outfool and outduel you. Do not fight me. Fight the schmucks at your head and the tiny pups in your beds, lest they become whiny and wanton, wanting more and more and more until they become phantoms of what you sorely molded. You have been told. Sincerely, the one that was scolded.
Oh,
I hope that was.
I like it. I was gonna say
Okay.
I like it. It's beautiful. I happen to love poetry and stuff.
Okay.
Especially poetry that gives you just different memories,
Yes.
maybe of things that occur, of people that you love, of situations. So y'all make sure that you go on Odetta's website and support a Black female author, okay? And make sure, if you haven't done so, you subscribe, because this is Victory Chat with Jackie. Remember, your victory starts here.